Now, a couple of data that where we are today. We launched UCS just 2.5 years back across the world. Now, today we have more than 10,000 customers, and out of which 3,000 are repeat customers we have worldwide. We are number 3 market share in x86 blades and number 2 in US, number 3 across the world. And we have 350 channel partners across the world. It is growing day by day. And this is, I think it is February 2012 data. And 44 ISV writing UCS APIs. Various companies are writing UCS APIs. And there are more than 1 million applications which are based on UCS. And 54 world record on performance benchmark. This particular platform has been benchmarked by SAP, by Oracle, by Microsoft, by many other vendors on their applications. And I have many testimonies where UCS is running successfully, where the SAP is rolled out on a production platform, and entire airlines database is running online on UCS platform. Entire IPCC enterprise call centers, which are facing to their customers, is running on a UCS Oracle server. It will configure like Oracle. Okay, so this is the kind of intelligence which is built into the system. Unified management, as I said, that UCS has storage, compute and network all integrated together. So the management is unified using a single tool, single console. You can manage all these three. And the last but not the least is the single unified system. As I said, that it's a single system. It is not combination of or collaboration of multiple systems. You see it as a single system. It is easily managed and easily operated by less number of workforce. Now, a couple of data that where we are today. We launched UCS just 2.5 years back across the world. Today we have more than 10,000 customers, and out of which 3,000 are repeat customers we have worldwide. We are number 3 market share in x86 blades and number 2 in US, number 3 across the world. And we have 350 channel partners across the world. It is growing day by day. And this is, I think it is February 2012 data. And 44 ISV writing UCS APIs. Various companies are writing UCS APIs. And there are more than 1 million applications which are based on UCS. And 54 world record on performance benchmark. This particular platform has been benchmarked by SAP, by Oracle, by Microsoft, by many other vendors on their applications. And I have many testimonies where UCS is running successfully, where the SAP is rolled out on a production platform, and entire airlines database is running online on UCS platform. Entire IPCC enterprise call centers, which are facing to their customers, is running on UCS blades. Okay, and numerous industry awards we have got. So this is one slide. Now, this is the second part of the presentation. 3-4 slides more. What I would like to share with you is that customers ask us that UCS is very new. How do you prove that this is working and this works? Okay, this is a valid question. If this is new thing, whatever I am talking here, can I prove it? Is there any proof? So this is the slide. What we say is that we eat our own dog's food. That is what we tell. So whatever product we launch in the market, we use it for 1 year in our system, in production system, and then only we roll it out in the market. So let's see what our Cisco is a department in Cisco, which is the IT department of our company. Okay, so what they say, let's see that. So this is the fact. We have 90 data centers across the world, and look at the size of the data center. Okay, and 35 megawatt of power consumed, and 300 locations, 165 countries, 450 I can say offices, 72,000 employees of Cisco employees are using UCS, and over 200 UCS clusters with 6,000 blades deployed globally within Cisco. Okay, still deployment is going on. We have not replaced all our old servers, but most of the servers have been replaced. So, and 8,000 plus virtual machines have been deployed on those 6,000 servers. 76% servers virtualized in new DC, 64% overall server virtualization has happened in Cisco as of last month. Virtualization goal is 80% and 30 petabyte of storage. Pretty huge, pretty huge. The kind of data here is you won't find normally in any organization. So this is the kind of virtualization facts we have on UCS platform. And if you go here, this is more deep dive. When we started, here at the legacy from rack mount, we migrated to our own blade and rack. We saved almost 37% of our TCO by deploying our blade servers on UCS, and then 54%. And look at the delivery time. Earlier it was 6 to 8 weeks. We brought it down to 2 to 3 weeks, though it is a manual operation because automation was not done at that point in time. And today we are here for the 27% TCO saving. And if you see, current state is 54% legacy and UCS is 75% virtualized, and our delivery time is 15 minutes per VM. I mean, if anybody is demanding a server, we take 15 minutes to deliver that server. And our goal is to self-service mode. That means people will not ask IT to deliver a server. People will go to a portal, say RAM this, 4 GB RAM, 2 CPU, 3.6 GHz, 2 cores, and I need 1 terabyte of space. Click, and 15 minutes the server is ready. They don't need to go to the IT department. So that's our goal, and this is what the data directly from the IT department of Cisco. Now this is another data point where you can see that how much you can save on the cabling perspective. So fiber patch cords and the lever, if you take that for a 10,000 square feet, 1 megawatt data center, this is the standard thumb rule what we have applied. The cost is, with the traditional blade design, it will be close to $2.7 billion. Now with our solution, Cisco's unified fabric only the cable part, you can save 40%. The cost will come down to 1.6 billion because you are reducing half the cable. Another data point is that where you invest more time and more energy when you build a server, that is when you do manual things. So out of all these activities like architect, design, and procure, install, configure, secure, and is it ready? This is the activities. Now all these activities are manual. Okay. Now if you reduce this manual act, what you save? Man-hour, and man-hour is equivalent to money. Okay, so what you will do is, you will club this with automated self-service provisioning. Like I said in my earlier slide, that you consolidate your job and from 8 weeks delivery time, you bring it down to 15 minutes. So your resource which is been allocated for 8 weeks, now is getting allocated only for 15 minutes. But when you do self-service, that resource is fully free, not even allocated for 15 minutes. Okay, so look at this, the savings you have. So where you can save how much? 30% less cost in infrastructure. Why? Because of virtualization. And virtualization does what? Optimum resource utilization. Today, in a production server, you see that in a peak hour, a production server cannot go beyond 25 to 30% of their CPU utilization on peak hour. Normally, that is a thumb rule. Now, what is happening to that 75%? We are not utilizing it. Through virtualization, you utilize that server for more purposes. You repurpose it. The moment you do that, your cost will come down. So earlier, for 3 applications, you required 3 servers. Now, for 3 applications, you need only 1 server. Okay, 30% cost reduction, 50%. 50% faster is the disaster recovery. How is it possible? Through DR capability, through LISP. Okay, 90% less time on deployment. How quickly you can give me the server? Today, the business is very, very demanding. They say, I want to roll it out just because of peer pressure, competition pressure, or something else. I want a server, I want this facility to be rolled out tomorrow morning. How do you do it? So you need a server for that. So first you have to think that how fast I can bring that server online. Okay? So this is how you can bring down that to 90%. Deploy, you can improve your IT department's capability to 2x time by reducing the job. 60% less cost, okay, on power and cooling. How? Remember, you have reduced half of the cable. Now, where these cables are connected? To switches, right? So if you reduce the number of cable, you reduce how? What? You reduce number of ports. So today, if you are using 96 ports, so that is reduced to 48 ports. So your 48 switch is now out of the data center. So the power consumed by that 48 port switch is saved. The cooling required for that 48 port is saved. So that is how you save on power and cooling. And application performance. It is 30% faster because now it is on a unified platform. So this is another important thing is that when we interviewed multiple people, industry leaders like CTOs and CIOs like you, there are two views. One, they say that we enable our IT department by procuring as per the technological requirement. So they follow this path. Whenever the server is required, they buy it, they put it into the rack, and they are populating the server team. The another population, what they do is they follow the architecture. They build the entire system from ground up. Okay, so by doing that, what they do is they achieve operational efficiency, business resiliency, business scalability, and business agility. Okay, when you do this, you get this advantage. So what Cisco says is that rather than taking this particular path, you take an architectural path which will give you better mileage. Okay, but that is possible only when you have a greenfield development site. Okay, so that's the outcome of this particular statistics. Now, as a whole, this is the last slide. So what you take from Cisco is the value. Server you can buy from market. You can buy the same server. It is an Intel server, the same hardware, the same RAM. What others are giving, we are also giving the same thing. Hardware-wise, it is no different, just a logo. But what we bring to the table is the unification of all these hardware devices, that is network, storage, and compute together, and give you a platform which will grow your business. At the same time, it will reduce all your costs which you are incurring right now. So it's a cost-effective solution. It's an architecture-oriented solution. That is what you need to believe and trust that you are following an architecture, not just a trend. And we have the broadest ecosystem. Like we have partnership with EMC. We have certified UCS system. Like we have FlexPod. Okay, where you take the UCS system, we will certify for these applications. You will never fail. It will never fail. We will certify the uptime. So that is the kind of eco partners we have. All storage system, all virtualization platform we support, and almost all softwares which are Intel based, it is supported on this. So with that, thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate your presence here, giving the scene that the match is going on at the back end, and you have been patiently listening to me. Thank you very much. Really appreciate this. Thank you.
Kaushik, anything that you would like to? Yeah, Kaushik, will you come here?
Yeah. Hello.
My question over here that there is no backward compatibility because we are like our servers is like senior citizens, if you tell me. So I'm fine with the unified solution, but when I migrate my seniors to that unified solution, at that time maybe Cisco come up with something else. So what will be our solution at that time?
So, I mean, you want to migrate from your current service platform to UCS. That is what I understood, right?
But I haven't seen any backward compatibility over there.
Legacy systems.
And yes, absolutely. And what
The
about
legacy systems is just a clarification. When you say legacy system, it is software, application, or
whatever? I mean, see, in our rack systems. So if we go to that rack to your unified solution, then when I migrate all my servers to there, at that time maybe it will be 3 years because the cost is involved there.
Okay.
So then after 3 years, your system, maybe unified solution system changed to some other else. So at that time, what should I do?
So what is, let me understand one thing, is that your current system is Intel based or it is RISC based?
Intel.
It is Intel based and you are planning for a migration.
Not yet, but I'm just asking what will be the solution at that time.
Yeah, so the concern you have raised is that what will be the backward compatibility.
Yes.
So that is where my point is. If you are thinking in terms of hardware, you don't need backward compatibility because your applications are already running on Intel, right? So you don't need application backward compatibility as long as it is Intel platform. Am I right? Okay? So I don't know how your applications are designed in terms of whether they are Intel platform or I mean they need any backward forward compatibility to be compatible with the recent kind of hardwares or not. But let me tell you, if you are running Intel platform and your applications are running on Intel, you don't need backward compatibility, okay, for UCS because UCS is also Intel. So you are migrating from Intel to Intel. So there should not be any concern. Okay. So, and you said one more point that if the migration period is more than 3 years, then where will it be our technology? Definitely there will be some development, but it won't be apart from Intel.
And cost will be there.
Cost is always there, so we have our team here. You can always talk to them regarding cost and all, but technology-wise, compatibility-wise, there should not be any challenge because it is a migration from Intel to Intel.
Anyway, the answer is okay. And the cost as well, so that we can satisfy our management. Let's see, these are the benefits because the benefits you are showing is absolutely the technical benefits. So if my management has to buy it, so I have to show them these are the benefits you can get over like 1 or 2 years. So, and then again after 2 or 3 years, I go ask them, see, these are the benefits now in the future, so you have to buy this as well.
Okay, so let me point it out. As you said, that is a technical benefit.
Yes.
Let me highlight 2 more points. It is not only technical. There are benefits like you are reducing the number of cables, right? So reducing the number of cables is what? You are saving cost. One, and your provisioning time is becoming very, very fast. As I said that today, how long it takes to provision a server for a particular application? You can give me the answer right now. How long it takes?
Currently like 8 weeks at least.
8 weeks?
Yes.
So tomorrow in UCS, if it takes 15 minutes, then definitely your management will be aware that from 8 weeks you have reduced it down to 15 minutes. So that's a clear saving of cost and effort. And your application provisioning time is immediately as just a click of a button. So that these are the value you can translate and then talk to your management and show them the value that not only technical but there is a business value to it, there is a growth value to it. I think you can easily convince them in terms of investment. Okay, so justification. I mean this is a strong point of Cisco. Because today you buy XYZ servers, those are Intel platform, and what extra we are changing in the market. So if I go and say that I am also selling Intel server, nobody is going to believe us, and Cisco won't do it. We don't sell servers. We sell a solution called UCS, which is a combination of compute, storage, and network.
Some of us, the rack is there, so unified is something else. We have to absolutely change because you have seen us, right?
Okay, let me give you one example. British Telecom. They have a data center in San Jose. That data center has 7,500 servers.
About the migration strategy, because huge amount of infrastructure is already in use positions. So we are not really clear about the migration how I do it and how I can maximize the existing use of the existing systems as well. Since it is a totally new plant,
Based out of New Delhi, and during his past 7 years association with Novel, he has worked in various capacities, including the partner management for Indian subcontinent and regional manager for now. He would be talking on journey to the cloud. Discuss the journey of the customers today with respect to moving into a cloud environment, especially on some of the challenges, concern areas, typical.
Back to Bangladesh after quite a long time. And being the last speaker, probably you will be, normally in any other event you will be closing me for delaying your cocktail and dinner. Today you will be closing me for delaying your participation in the celebration, watching the match. Can you help you in terms of the terminal emulation software? The second product line is the NetIQ product integrated into a single box kind of a solution. Because you have customized it as per your need and you will redeploy it across the branches. Keep the data from the cloud infrastructure. So all those things happen in terms of the applications where you use only username password. Because of some reason, the application vendor not being there or the cost being very high to relate for accessing your infrastructure in the cloud, you want to have access controls, we have products which can help you into it.